Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. I hope everybody is well. I'm actually I wasn't going to stick these on here, but I am. The painting is hanging down, so it's not clipped on the painting. The painting's just hanging. But it is time to start my kookaburra. I have no idea how much I'm going to do in this WIP and Waffle, to be honest. I am filming this on a Saturday afternoon. No, I'm not filming it on a Saturday afternoon. I'm filming it on a Thursday afternoon. Goodness me. Just after filming my Thursday WIP and Waffle, and I do need to get the rest of my filming done today as well. But I'm hoping to multi-place, so I'm going to uncover 3 pieces of cover paper, which is probably me underestimating how long these things take. Actually, I need to switch my pen. In that case, I'm just going to have to switch it to my matching tray too. I'm going to switch to my gold and white. Where is my other gold and white? Okay, where have I managed to put that tray? Oh, it's in here. I want to switch to my AMZ tray and not my Zesty tray because I can multi-place on this one. I've kept both of them in the drawer at the moment that I've sort of been messing with. So I'm filming this on Thursday afternoon. We are prepping ourselves for launch, which you guys will have already been able to see, and our new website, our sort of mini rebrand, which me and Megan have been working hard on and have been so excited to discuss, but feels like it has more of an impact when it's just done. But yeah, like we created the website and the logo initially. It was purely as a one-stop place for you to be able to go and find my YouTube videos a little bit easier. It was not set up as a shop. It was not set up as a full business. It was not set up as any of that to start off with. So yeah, it's been floating around in my head for quite a while, to give things a little bit of a shake up, a little bit of a refresh, but we're still the same people. We're just a little bit jazzier, is what I like to say. It's got a little bit more jazz in our bones. So yeah, me and Megan have been working really hard on that this last week. The main thing, we also got an upgraded sort of photo booth for taking photos. Always my biggest bugbear is trying to get photos. Anybody who lives in the UK or even has heard me talking about the weather, the UK weather is not set for lots of natural light. We've had a small photo booth in the past, and it's sort of done the job, but not wonderfully. So we did get ourselves a much better one, and I am so much happier with the photos we've been able to do. So Megan and I, as part of the rebranding, have redone all the images for the website. And that has been the one thing that has taken us so long. It's quite ridiculous how long that takes. But yeah, it's all done. I'm filming this on Thursday because tomorrow, Friday, we will be tweaking the rest of the website after closing it down. And I've just realised that yeah, I might have to pause this video for members and put this live on Friday evening, I think. Otherwise I sort of spoil the surprise if I put the video up and let members have access to it early. I'll still let members have access to it early, just not as early as I potentially could. So please forgive me because I've just blabbed secrets because I've been itching to talk to you all about it. But as I say, we've been keeping it as sort of a surprise. But yes, absolutely loved it. The situation came up where we were able to get some, I suppose, more professional input in relation to things that's got us right off on the right path. And yeah, we've had such fun rebranding and sorting stuff out, even if it did involve taking a lot of photos and a lot of screenshots of things and making us realise exactly how many products we do have in our shop, which is quite a lot. So yeah, it's been a fun but busy last week for us. Launch is now up, say, because I am filming this on the Thursday. I don't have any further updates in relation to the diamond paintings reaching us, but if you do keep an eye on our social media, we will keep you updated. It may be that we have them in hand already. It may be that we don't. I can't foresee into the future. If I could, we'd have ordered these diamond paintings well earlier than what we did to make sure that they were able to spend 5-6 weeks in customs that they have so far. But yeah, I hope everybody is having a wonderful weekend. I am going to go through comments. I have got some comments still from when I was working on the last day, though not too many. So I am getting caught up on comments. I'm going to see how time goes and how I get through the comments on this video. Maybe we'll be able to get up to date. I'm a little bit behind on walking in the rain as well when doing this because I was too busy speaking about the plans for launch on Friday. But yeah, there'll be plenty of time to catch up on that one because I'll be de-kitting walking in the rain. Not this upcoming week, next week. So there'll be plenty to chat about then. These diamonds are multi-placing very, very nicely, just so you know. This is a diamond painting from Treasure Studio Art of a kookaburra. It is the oldest painting in my stash, or it was. It will soon be done because I envision this one being a quicker finish depending on how much time I get to do it off camera. I've managed to diamond paint one evening this week. So diamond painting in an evening is not something that I'm getting a lot of time for. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, starting on the black, the 939. I'm actually going to do the 823 first because there is none of that over here. But then there is some of the others over there. Using my Elizabeth Ward containers, which I haven't used for a while. So very excited to use those. And they're actually not that bad to open. I think because I have used them a few times before, it's gotten a lot easier. Anyway, comments, etc. So Vicky, she said she could never intentionally place the wrong colour diamond. She says her brain considers that to be a major fail. She says, although if somebody else does it, she says she would never notice. She says, go figure. That is always the way. We are our own worst critics. Well and truly our own worst critics. So I completely understand where you're coming from. Look at this. I just went to shut the lid with one hand, and that is my desk. Luckily, they haven't gone off the end of my desk due to the fact that I was leaning against it. If anybody has already seen my Thursday WIP and Waffle, within the first 10 minutes of that, I also managed to knock over drills and spill them. I'm just going to get my mega tray and sweep them off here and into my mega tray. Though my drop on my desk, hopefully they don't bounce. Oh no, they're not bouncing. The thickness of my desk is how far they had to drop, but they didn't bounce. So there's even too many for the spout. How bad's that? Right, there we go. I'll try not to do it again. Well, I tap the end of my tray so they all shuffle their way down. Okay, they're out my tray. Let me get my 4 little dancers. Do you know what it is that did it? I was leaning on it and this edge is curved. So I leant to push that down and it hit the curve. So somebody needs to pay attention. That would be me. I can't even remember what I was saying. Oh yes. So if you watch my Thursday WIP and Waffle, you'll know that I spilt diamonds then too. But I did only do it the once. So here's hoping. I'm actually leaving the pot open, but I have put it back in my tray so it can sit there out of harm's reach. And hopefully I won't cause too much of a problem. We shall see. This WIP and Waffle might be shorter if I end up making too many mistakes and decide to write it off as a bad job. Okay, Almost Ali. She says, sounds like the diamond advent painting might be a DAS chart to art style. She says she would love it if it was. So that is like a heaven and earth design where you use a chart on a blank canvas. And our advent event, or our event painting, our mini Christmas diamond paintings, because I can talk about them now too, they are and they aren't. So what we decided, or what I decided for this year, is I wanted to do a mixture. I wanted to do a few different styles that people could try without getting overwhelmed. There are many new diamond painters who would love, and older diamond painters that have been diamond painting for a while, both new to the craft and old to the craft, that would love to potentially try new things, but it freaks them out just a little bit. Now, while I can't do a smaller diamond painting with high colours, as in 190 odd colours, because, you know, otherwise you're probably just talking placing one diamond on the painting at a time. There are things that we can do with smaller paintings. So there's a few reasons behind the paintings that I chose. And I can actually talk about those now too. They've been in the works since probably January. Is normally when we start discussing Christmas again, because, you know, it's only just finished. Yeah, so I wanted to be able to do sort of tasters, but not. There's a few different reasons we picked to do 4 mini paintings. So if you have a look at our event paintings, they are 4 smaller 15 by 15 centimetre paintings, which is the same size as the paintings we had, same size as the paintings we did in our Christmas advent calendar last year. So we did a 15 by 15 painting then too. And there are 4 different paintings. So there is 2 that are round paintings. We wanted to have an even mix of round and square. For those that aren't used to square, we wanted them to be able to, of course, give square a go. We wanted people to be able to give a mystery painting a go if they've not done that before. And we also wanted to be able to give people a chart painting to have a go. But we didn't want them to be huge and daunting. The mini chart canvases that Diamond Art Studio did last year, and they've actually got quite a few different styles of it this year, are absolutely amazing and absolutely fantastic, but they even took me longer than I thought they potentially would to do each section on it. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved it, but we know it took quite a while to be done, and Christmas is a very busy time of the year. So while we'd have loved to do, you know, maybe something that was a bit more of a full painting, that doesn't suit everybody. It doesn't suit me at Christmas time. It doesn't suit you guys at Christmas time, potentially. If you have the time, great, go and check out Diamond Art Studios for this year, because they have another one for this year. And I'm very excited to potentially do that in some of my free time, though I'm not going to panic about finishing it in December, because life gets hectic. So yeah, we wanted to give you a taster of it. So our mini paintings contain, I've managed to pick up 5 and I couldn't find a spot for them. They contain 2 round diamond painting images, 1 mystery image, so you have the symbols on the canvas, but you don't fully see what the picture is until it's all finished, and 1 that is based off a chart, so you can give it a go, transferring diamonds over according to the chart without being too overwhelmed. It does mean that the sections will be a bit smaller. Come December, it is going to be more of a snack size WIP and Waffle each day. So I'm probably going to have some catch up on comments to do come the new year. But yeah, I think it's going to be really fun to sort of do a few different styles. And the day that we're doing the chart painting will definitely be a longer WIP and Waffle than, say, a day we're doing a section of the round. But yeah, very excited to bring those sort of snack size paintings to you. What's also a benefit is if you have less time than me and aren't able to take part in the WIP and Waffles every single day. I know some people will plan and get ahead a little bit. Some people have life happen and they just aren't able to finish for whatever reason. You will still be able to potentially finish at least one of the 4 paintings. So you will have an achievement of finishing, and you can pick and choose as to what suits you and your time for being able to do WIPs. So if you don't have much time, sorry, I'm trying to get this off the painting. If you don't have much time to diamond paint, then just pick 1 of the paintings or 2 of the paintings. It's a little bit of flat got picked up. Yeah, just do 1 or 2, and then you still get to complete. You've still taken part in the event. You've still had a little bit of me time. You've just done it on a mini one. So yeah, I'm excited to see how they are taken, how they go down. And yeah, if it works out well, we potentially would love to do different styles of the same sort of things, potentially going forward, as an option for people to be able to test the waters on different things and give different styles of diamond painting a go without feeling overwhelmed, because that can just sap the fun out of it. If you're not a person like me that would take the likes of doing a cross-stitch chart as a challenge and thrive off it, like I did with my big Heaven and Earth design, if that's not your personality, then you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it means you will be able to give it a go and have a sense of achievement with it. That's the plan. Anyway, I'll probably waffle about them a bit more once we've got sort of feedback on what people think. It's always hard. We only ever do the one diamond painting a year, and it can be hard to know what people want, whether they want that something a little bit different, whether they just want a straightforward diamond painting or not. So the last few years we've probably been testing quite a few different ideas for different things, from our Zesty Wolf to our advent calendar to our 12-in-1, which can be turned into a calendar. Yeah, we're testing the waters with something else new. She says she's knowingly, Almost Ali also says, she says she has knowingly placed the incorrect similar colour on a confetti heavy painting. She said especially if it is in the last section. There's something about wanting to finish, isn't there? Oh, I did miss one. Okay, I'll get that one in a minute. She says, but she only does it on her cheap budget kits that she bought at the very start. She can't do it on her expensive ones. She said she did mess up one of her 30 by 30s by placing the wrong colour on a symbol. Luckily, she said it was a similar shade. She said it did look funny when it was finished. She says, but she doubts her students will even notice. I say, we are our own worst critic. We are probably the ones that would notice more. You'd notice it in your own work rather than in somebody else's. She says you are one of only 3 diamond painting channels she says she watches. She says, and I'm the only one she enjoys the WIP Chats. She says there are 2 other art channels she regularly sits through WIP Chats or long chat style videos. She says you're always so positive, she says, in response to the comments and what life throws your way. She says she lives alone, so after hearing so many complaints and negativity at work, she said it's nice to just even get a little bit of positivity from another adult. Yeah, I think there is enough negative in the world, and to be fair, quite often, you know, people are fully within their rights to moan. You know, that there are definitely things to moan about. However, I do agree that, you know, moaning about the same thing constantly, or hearing moaning from people all the time constantly, can definitely be draining on both the person who's moaning and also the person who's listening. So I do try and keep that out of here. Because yeah, that diamond art is for having a break from it all, is it not? And in my opinion, a break from it all also includes a break from the moaning. So I'm so happy that the WIP Chats and stuff works for you. I love the fact that I am able to keep people company. For whatever, you know, whatever their circumstances, they may just want a bit of comfort. Could be that they normally have a house full and they've been left alone and the house seems too quiet. It could be that you live on your own. Could be a variety of different reasons, but I do love being able to sort of catch up with everybody and just chat about so many different things as well. So many different things and subjects appear in the waffle. Some hang on longer than others. I remember a few years ago we had a chat, oh, was it Woolworths, I think? That one went on for quite a while. There was a couple of others as well that sort of stuck about for a bit, but I love it because if you guys want to discuss it, you comment on it. So it's great to sort of just be able to, I suppose, learn about how things work for other people, or listen to other people's memories of things from years gone by that, you know, sometimes we miss. You know, I use the internet loads. My business runs on the internet. But I still think there was a different sort of aspect to life when the internet wasn't so much a thing. So it's definitely nice to reminisce about those times for sure. Pam, she says, hi Rebecca. She says it's been a while since she wrote a comment to me. She said she lost her friend's cat, who she adopted after a friend passed away last year. She says her cat lived 10 months and 5 days after she passed. She said last year she had to put her cat down, so it was hard for her. She says also losing her friend's cat. It's like that extra little special companion with that extra little touch of being your friend's cat. She says at least one thing. She says she has her cat Elvis and he misses her. Said Elvis is always looking for her. She says she's been watching my videos and you bring me comfort. She says she thinks both of the paintings that I've been working on are coming out nice. She says she enjoys the videos. Oh, thank you, Pam. And both paintings that I was working on, because that comment was left on the last day, both paintings are now finished, which is amazing for me. I feel like I am chasing the finished paintings this year. But yeah, it's been really nice to sort of finish two in quick succession. Well, finishing them was quick succession, doing them was not. But yeah, it just brings out a new vigour, getting to the point that I'm like working on brand new painting. Now with this one, I'm sort of figuring out the symbols. You sort of get used to, I suppose, when it's charted and as you do the image, you get used to what symbols are likely to be next to other symbols. You get used to which symbol order you like to do things in. You know, which ones pop out at you. So I think I'm doing a little bit of the symbols that jump out at me at the moment on this one. And maybe that'll be a trend I'll continue. Maybe I'll change it up. It's all part of the learning process, and it's all part of the process that I love to do. Sort of change things up. I often work from the left. When I start a painting, I often work across this bottom row. But I'm actually doing it a little bit different this time. I'm going for the symbols that jump out at me. I'm working my way through them. And yeah, it's nice to do it a little bit different as I go along. I put fresh putty in this last night, so it's still finding its feet. Finding its feet in my multi-placer. But yeah, getting some pops of colour. Symbols are quite dark sometimes compared to the colours, which is actually quite nice when you go to place the diamonds, because you start seeing them pop a bit more. Catherine, she says, nice completion. She says on her 17th wedding anniversary. She says they've been together for 20 years. Congratulations. That is often a feat in itself. That's for sure. She says being married for about 27 years. Yeah, congratulations on your anniversary. Yeah, I was trying to think if I had something else to say then. I was like, I don't know that I do. Mops the Top, she says, go on. She says, do it. She's just placed one drill, she says, in the wrong place because she cleared away all of the other colours. She said due to a vast area of colours, she says no one will notice. Well, considering I said I wasn't sure whether I was going to do it or not, and I actually turned off the camera while I placed my diamond down, and nobody, even with video evidence of the before and after, have been able to tell me whether I did or did not place the incorrect diamond. So that can't be a bad thing now, can it? If nobody can tell, it can't have been that out of place or in the correct place, because either way, nobody can tell me. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes all is well. She is typing this on Monday morning. She says hubby and herself are currently in Mallorca. Very nice. Currently in Mallorca for 2 weeks for a much needed, she says, for her and for them both, for a much needed me and us time. Oh, she says unfortunately her mum was admitted to hospital the Friday before we flew. She says they got her blessing to continue with their holiday. She is fine. She's in for the same complaint that she had back in February. She's okay, she just doesn't want to be in hospital, which I get completely, because it's not the funnest place to be, that's for sure. The days seem long, the mornings seem early, and it's definitely a bit different. Right, I've just done a couple, just did one straight out of the pots, which is what I do like about these pots. When I do only have a few, it can be really easy to just get them out straight out of the pots. Oh, this diamond has a lot of air bubbles in some of these. So I think I'm just, until I sort of figure out, I do think I've got extra diamonds to what I need. But this is the first and the only painting I've ever had from Treasure Studio Art. So I'm not going to just bin them all. I am just going to fish around and pick the best ones until I get quite a bit further up the painting. Because otherwise there are some I would potentially use. There's some that are a big fat no, but there's some that I could actually get away with, especially if they're placed in smaller spots like this. There's definitely some I could get away with. Right, that bright pink is jumping out at me, but I don't think I want to do that one next. I want to know what that symbol is. It's not looking like any of the other symbols around it. What symbol is that? Looks, oh, it's a line with a circle through, but it looks like I only have one. Oh no, I have a couple more here. Okay, I do have a few of them. It's amazing how your eyes sort of get used to looking at a particular colour or symbol, and then you don't think there's any more of them. You think you've only spotted one, but then once your eyes focus on the actual shading that's on the canvas, how all of a sudden you see the rest of them. Maybe, would my light pad be better with this one? Maybe. It's flickering a little bit, which isn't helping. Might be a bit better with this, because I am doing quite a few darker symbols at the moment. That one was very much just a few confetti, but not easy to see, so it wouldn't surprise me if I have to dip into that pot again later. Anyway, let's move on. Lily, she says, you're very cheeky today, Rebecca. I think that was one I filmed late at night. I'm always like that when I film late at night. She says, you got me laughing out loud, she says, for so long. She says, regarding the rebel in you. She says, about the purple drill. See, my rebel side comes out every now and then. Not that often, but it does. She says, haha, she says, love you. She says, on the side note, she says she is so excited and eager, she says, for my Christmas canvas to arrive. She says, by the way, she says she also used the wrong colour. She says on the Paint Gem Mystery 2. Oh, these diamonds are a little bit smaller than the squares. Maybe I need to stick to only doing 4. They do look smaller as well than the other ones. Because that is not... These are going to be gappy diamonds. Okay, let's go to single placing. Because the gaps won't be noticeable when my light pad is off if I single place. But these are definitely smaller than the other diamonds that I was using. Sorry, sidetracked. Yeah, so she used the wrong colour with Paint Gem Mystery 2. She says because there were 3 dots, one slanting to the left and the other slanting to the right. Yes, I have had that on a couple of paintings and it flummoxed me as well. I do feel like I really have to focus a little bit more when that happens to make sure I've got the right ones, especially if I start turning my paintings around. Which I can do. I can end up putting them on sort of different angles. I like turning them all different directions so that I'm always coming in with my diamonds from the right to the left. And that symbol's nearly got, well, it's got me once and then nearly got me a few other times. She said one was a black colour and the other one was blue. She said, and she thought it was rocks, hence the black seemed okay. She says, but in the end, it needed to be blue on her last canvas, she said, so she had to pick them all out. She says she just laughed it off, she says, as there is no point in getting annoyed. She said it's been done. She says, although she did email Paint Gem about the mistake in the hope that they don't use similar symbols again, especially in mystery kits, because you can't see the colour on the canvas. She says she didn't get any reply though. She says she loves my channel and she still loves Paint Gem. You may still get a reply from Paint Gem. I will say sometimes they can take a while. I thought it was just me, but yeah, because I'm not sort of necessarily emailing them straight from just a standard customer response or request, but you may find that they do get back to you just a lot later than normal. Getting through customer service emails and other things seems to be a bit more of a struggle for them. They're not, I say, they're really good when they do get back to you, and especially if you catch the email coming in and reply, it's like you've caught them at the computer. But they also seem to have so much stuff going on in the background, which I can completely understand because I have so much going on in the background, and sometimes I could end up leaving an email far too long and not realising. I have had to sort of set myself up, in effect, a proper system to ensure that I am on top of things. So when a customer quite often can get a response to an email to me, they will get a response sort of the next working day for sure. But depending on when they reply to that, it may be the next working day for the response again, because I just come off the computer and I'm doing 50 million things in 50 million other places. And I try to catch in again later on in the day. but sometimes I don't finish till like 9 o'clock at night, so by the time I have finished, I completely forget about picking up my computer again until the following day. So yeah, the struggle is real for some, so you may get a response yet. Henny says, hi Rebecca. She says yes, she is the same. She says, but eventually she ends up putting the correct colour in. She says, have a great week, Zesty. She says, greetings from the Netherlands. Thank you. Is it one of those that would eat at you if you'd put the wrong colour in and then you'd have to go back and fix it? To be honest, I'd have to pull up the video to even find where that diamond kind of went. I would not know where it went anymore at all. Nellie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she is so pleased, she says, to hear that she's not the only one that thinks about putting the wrong beads in the wrong place. Oh, well, there we go. It was all worth it if not for that. You know, whether it be for you realising that you're a person that does do it, can do it, wants to do it, or whether you realise that you're a person that is a big fat no, it's still always good to know which kind of person that you are. Fortunately for me, mine varies from day to day as to which person I am. There'd be other days I wouldn't dream of it. I was diamond painting, doing Walking in the Rain last night, as I'm filming this, last night for me. And yeah, there was a couple of times I missed a symbol and it didn't even enter my head to put a different colour there. Just was not in my thought process at that time on that particular day. Whereas another day, it could just be fair game. Dimitri says, hey Rebecca and Zesty, says that is a very beautiful painting. That is on the last day, which it still is, absolutely gorgeous painting. They love the WIPs of my diamond painting channel. They've started on a new little painting of a wolf. It is a 40 by 50 after their skull. Oh, they lost their best friend from Portugal. Oh, so sorry for your loss. It is a very, very hard time. Just take each day as the day, and don't beat yourself up for what you're feeling on a particular day. You just sort of have to go with the flow when it comes to grief, and take one day at a time. So because of my video, they can turn their mind off for a little bit, which is always good as well. Having just little pockets of time when you can, in effect, let your brain forget. Not that you've forgotten your friend at all, but just let your brain switch off from it all just for a little bit. Because, yeah, it'll come back many, many times again. Said it hurts, but your personality makes it a little bit peacefuler. Love and shalom from Belgium's. Oh, bless you. I'm thinking of you. It is an extremely, extremely hard time dealing with grief, and it is different for everybody. So as much as you can sympathise, you know, I've been through grief before, still have pockets of time, you know, where it's like, oh, it hits you. It's still different to the way that somebody else experienced grief. So yeah, just huge sympathies, because it's hard, and there's no right way to feel. And I think that's the thing that you need to remember. There is no right way to feel on any particular given day. It will vary from day to day, from moment to moment, and all you can do is ride it. And yeah, take care. Rachel, she says, as for your tip, she says, about the damp sponge and glue dots, so that's with working with AB diamonds. If you Use a damp sponge is the posh way to do it, but if you use a damp sponge to pick up on your glue dot before you pick up the AB diamonds, it doesn't pick up. It picks up nicer, like it's easier to do than just trying to pick them up straight. Rachel says it also works with the pink wax. She uses a damp paper towel. She says kitchen roll, as she believes it's called in the UK. Yeah, it's probably called paper towel on the packet, but if you say kitchen roll in any UK house with UK people in it, like, they'll know what you mean. She says when she's feeling civilised, she says, but she has been known to just lick the end of the pen if it's just 1 or 2 ABs, or to test the theory. I appreciate your honesty. I would be the same. I could not be bothered getting up and getting, unless I found it was like absolutely perfect and only way to do ABs and I had an absolute ton of them to do, then yeah, I would probably go and pick that up. But to be honest, if I have an absolute ton of ABs to do, then quite often I will pick up an AB pen. But it's a really handy tip to have if you either come across an AB that you missed while you had your AB pen out, or you know, you're just doing a section that's only got a couple. It's a really handy tip to do, because it just saves you hunting out a different pen or changing the pen that you're holding. Sometimes we're just not in the mood for that either. She said she keeps a damp paper towel in a small white tray near her painting, and therefore if there's any excess water, it's got somewhere to sit. So just a little shallow tray for it to sit in, so that you don't end up ruining potentially a desk or your painting, depending on where the damp paper towel ends up sitting. I guess it's a bit like those little sponges you can get in the bank, you know, where they use it to wet their fingers before they count money or something. One of those sorts of things would probably do it. Right, I know I've got a couple more up there, but my mind just stepped back and is just having a quick glance at all the rest to see if there's any others that I've missed before I finish up these bits. I do need to change the battery in my camera again at some point. Oh look, there's the letter Q that I missed, and I've got a diamond that I've dropped in the middle of my painting. It's whatever that colour was. Goodness me. Get my tweezers, because that was not having it with this. Get that out the way and get these diamonds away. And I'm just going to do those 2 letter Qs that I missed. And this is where I can let the big pile of diamonds all sit further back in the tray and use the base of this pot to hopefully pick some up. Though so far I've picked one up upside down, and then I've picked one up that's 2 together, 2 sandwiched together. So let me try and do it a bit easier. Goodness me. I'm not leaned over it enough to see what I'm doing, trying to do it on camera. Right, there we go. Right, I'm going to change my camera. I've got a few emails that I need to respond to, because it is a working day, so I need to at least look and sort to those. But I will be back with you all in a mo. So I've just come back from having a brew and just spotted 2 letter U's. I am off to a great start. I haven't used enough of these to be able to use the bottom of the pot the same, and I've just spotted 2 down here that I missed. Okay, letter M. Oh, I get some purple. Hopefully these ones, these look a bit bigger. Hopefully I'll be able to multiplace with these, because I have uncovered a fairly big section. But anyway, let's go on to comments. So Bowling Bill, love the name. So they've only just started doing diamond painting. And they are totally hooked. Done a few now, but they've had to set it aside for a while. Because they've had really bad headaches. They've not done any for over a week and their headache has gone. So they guess, so they think they'll go slowly and give themselves a time limit on how long they sit and do them. That definitely sounds like a plan. I would also potentially, if it is within your means, to get your eyes tested. It may be that for the closer up work that diamond painting is, for the longer term, quite often headaches can be a sign that you potentially would need glasses. So if that's within your means, I would also do that, because then it may be that you can diamond paint for as long as you want, provided you're wearing glasses, and it may be that that would then prevent you from getting headaches. So if you can, give that a go. Balara says her inner devil would not allow her to place, would never allow her to place the wrong colour with full intention, even though no one would see or know. They would know even if they couldn't see. See, I do get that. I think the rebel part of me on occasion is like, well, you know what, you have to do something outside of your comfort zone. And what better thing to do outside of your comfort zone than something that nobody would notice. But yeah, I do completely get both viewpoints on it. I think sometimes I wish I had the viewpoint of it doesn't matter anywhere near as much, and didn't give myself the guilt trip that goes along with it. But yeah, it's definitely been fun, that's for sure. That's for sure. Placing that wrong diamond has been a good one. Gray Legrand, she says, done and dusted. Yes. She says she's looking forward to the next big one. Well, I hope you're enjoying this one. It definitely seems as though Kookaburra being picked did seem quite a good one with many. I think because it is one that's been in my stash for a while, so you guys will have seen it constantly. It is a different company as well, so it's nice to sort of vary them up. I do have a lot of paintings from the same companies. I do admit that, but I do think you sort of find a style of images sometimes, and you will find that the style of images you like can sometimes be met more by one company than potentially another. Also, you know, proximity to where you live and things like that can definitely make, when paying for a premium diamond painting, can definitely, for example, be a lot easier to, and you can get more for your money if you're getting it from a country that you live in. Can sometimes also make a difference. You know, you may be able to get more paintings from a company from the same country, dealing with the same currency and all that sort of stuff, than sometimes you possibly can with others. And yeah, you just get used to doing the quality paintings that you enjoy, and yeah, just end up picking up all the images that you like from that company, which in some instances for mine can be quite a few. So yeah, I do actually have quite a lot from quite a few of the same companies, just because I've loved the images, the quality of the paintings and all the rest of it. It's easier to spend my pennies then, that's for sure. Right, we need quite a lot of them. I do have quite a few gaps to fill as well, but I'm going to see how much multi-placing I can get done with what's in my tray. Mysterious Days, she says, wow. She says she is incredibly behind. She says with the introduction of crochet into her hobby rotation. I love that, hobby rotation. Have quite a few. She says which before wasn't even a rotation. It just took over. She says diamond tape painting has taken a major back seat. She says, but by the beginning of 2025, she says she at least wants her kitted up WIPs to be done. Which gives you that clean slate then. If you find that you are doing more crafts than just diamond painting, but still want to do diamond painting, having quite a few different WIPs all kitted up when you're not doing as much of the craft can definitely be a bit more overwhelming. Whereas if you've only got one, sometimes then it can be easier to pick it up when you fancy doing some for a bit of a change. Than trying to decide which one to do. So she wants her kitted up WIPs done, or she wants to be down to one, which is a good idea. She says, so she's using these WIP and Waffles to get some diamond painting done. She says it might not be possible, as one of her current ones is quite large. She says, but a girl can hope. You can, and you can always start with all the others apart from your large one, and then you may find that you quite enjoy doing your large one over a longer period of time, and doing a bit of each if it's easier to complete is the better word. If it's easier to complete some of the others first, and have your large one as your current ongoing, or you might surprise yourself and you actually may find that if you got all your WIPs completed and then stopped doing diamond painting as often, i.e. during each WIP and Waffle, you may find that you actually miss doing the diamond painting during WIP and Waffles, and therefore you sort of pick it back up and continue on with your big ones, because you've actually really enjoyed the process of doing a couple of different crafts over time. But yeah, I have two crafts at the moment and I stick to my two. I have my quilting, which is my weekend craft, and then I have my diamond painting, which is my through the week. And sometimes, you know, things may change. If I'm very nearly finishing a project, I may do one over the other in the other one's allotted time. This last weekend I did cut some material for quilting, but then didn't end up doing any more. I actually decided to go and get more photos taken for the shop sort of rebrand, relaunch, because I knew there was loads to take and I just wanted to try and help chunk that down, get rid of a chunk that needed doing. So I actually took myself off and worked last weekend, but that's what my brain wanted to do. That's what it wanted to do to help me to be able to focus for the rest of the week. So I just went with it. There will always be another weekend for me to get some quilting done. Maybe not this weekend, but we shall see. Right, let's use up some of these before I tip in more diamonds. Just try and play a little bit of catch up on my letter M's. I was just checking, there was one letter H that appeared as I was putting down these letter M's. It's over here, I spotted it. I just wanted to check it wasn't me reading the canvas wrong, and I actually do have the letter H. So it's a similar purple, it's a darker purple, so I just need to make sure that I pay attention to that. She also says, those who are following her GED journey, which is all of us, she said her test was supposed to be tomorrow, which would have been September the 27th, but she's ended up having to reschedule it till October the 4th, which, as I'm filming this, is tomorrow and is our new launch day. She said, as in Georgia, they're being affected by Hurricane Helena, which, yeah, I feel for anybody that has been impacted by that in any which way. Some of the images and videos coming through are absolutely horrific, and I can't even imagine having to deal with that at all. She says, as an ex-Florida girl, she says, Georgia does not know, she says, how to handle a teeny-weeny storm. She says, those who didn't live in Florida don't understand, she says, but she looks at a Category 2 hurricane as a really bad storm. She says, so she's more peeved than anything because she was mentally prepared to do the test this week. And it is so frustrating when things outside of your control stop you from doing especially when it's something that you have had to mentally prepare for and sort of gear yourself up for. It's even worse when that's stopped. For anything really, it's annoying, but when it's something that you don't understand the reasoning behind in the same way either, it can be even harder to sort of overcome. She says what probably doesn't need to happen, she said, is her working on 3 blankets. She says one for herself, one for her mom, and one for the elderly lady that lives with her. She says then she plans on making a summer blanket, and she's already bought the yarn for that. She says, speaking of which, she says Michael's shipping, she says, was a nightmare. Oh, I mean, we don't have a Michael's, but we definitely have some shipping companies that are a nightmare. One that's holding some diamond paintings, for example. She says both times she never even got notified. She says that they'd given the box to UPS. She says the second time it sat almost 2 weeks, she says, before she contacted customer service a second time and had to get them to reship it. She says the first said maybe it got lost and to give it a few days and check again. She said she's glad the second attempt, she says, put a better taste in her mouth. She says because she does like shopping at Michael's. She says, and since she's into crochet and bought knitting needles to learn that, she says she would definitely order again. Well, that's good to know it's not turned you off it permanently. Not turned you off the hobby either. Sometimes shipping errors, mistakes can happen. And sometimes, yeah, it's hard. It's hard sometimes because you want to do the right thing, but you also need to give the company a chance to put it right. But especially when it is something that you want, it can be even more frustrating. Right, you see, that's my letter H there. Not sure if you can see it. Oh, I have got a couple more there as well. So it's kind of good that I'm doing the letter M first. Try and get these ones that there's definitely a lot more of and are jumping out at me. Get these filled in, and then I'll go and fill in the gaps and straighten any multi-placing that's gone a little bit awry, like that one over there. But I'll fix that with the ones that go around it. Okay, my multi-placer is playing up. I can see that some of my putty has come out down the side, and that should be in there. See if that works better. Sometimes I use my multi-placer as well to sort of shove them in place a bit more, and it doesn't do my putty any good. I probably shouldn't. I probably should wait and use my single placer to nudge everything in line, but I get too impatient, so I use my multi-placer and then regret it. There's a few more H's down here as well, so I'm going to leave the rest of that little bit around there, because it looks like it's mainly single placing, and it'll stop me putting the letter M in the wrong place. Because I'm sure it will make a difference once the painting's done, unless it's just like one. Okay, we're now on to comments from my Paint Gem Mini. So we're on comments from last week's video, which in the grand scheme of catching up on WIP and Waffle comments means I am doing awesome. So we'll see how long I can get away with standing, because I'm definitely feeling the effects of standing after doing a few videos stood here, and see how many of last week's comments we can get through. It would be nice to be caught up on the comments, especially because I'm a little bit behind on Thursday's comments, but we shall see. Dimitri says, hey Rebecca and Zesties, thank you so much, say, for the beautiful video. They love the little design of this painting. Shalom. Yes, it's a lovely little painting, that rainbow one. It's a nice bright one, which is fun for a little bit of a change. I mean, on the last day wasn't a huge dark one. Yes, there was a lot of dark elements, but there was a lot of colour popping through all of that. But the Paint Gem Mini was a rainbow edition, so that definitely had huge pops of colour, which were great. Oh, Denise, she says, hi Rebecca. She's commenting on the last day WIP and Waffle. She says, your comment about purposefully putting the wrong colour diamond, she says, reminds her of the rug makers who would purposefully weave imperfections into a rug, and they quote, in many cultures, including those of various Native American tribes, she says, weaving imperfections are seen to be a representative of life's fragility and impermanence. For the weaver, it serves as a reminder to take the time and appreciate the beauty of small moments in life. She says, warmest wishes to all the zesties out there. That is a very good way of looking at it. Let me know if that helps any of you that have said that you could never do it. Has that changed your mind? Are you going to put one diamond in the wrong place intentionally? Just because that's the trick. That's what we're doing at the moment. We're putting a diamond in the wrong place on purpose. Margaret, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, this weekend has been good. She said she ran Park Run on Saturday, her 328th. Oh my goodness me, you're like my sister-in-law. She does runs. She absolutely loves running, and I still don't get it. I just don't get it. I am not a runner. She says she almost also finished a diamond painting. No, I get that one. Whoop whoop. She says on Sunday she ran a 10k, she says, which is the best she has run since breaking her ankle in April. She says, take care, she says, Margaret. Well done to you for running in the first place. Absolutely amazing achievement. And I am sure you must get something from it to keep doing it. And my sister-in-law must keep getting something from it to keep doing it. I just don't get it. And I think I also don't quite have the inkling to try it enough to find out if I get something off it as well. I'm just not a runner. I am not a runner, but well done to those of you who are. Dragon Skies says, hi Rebecca, says regarding outside toilets, she remembers her grandparents having a full bathroom upstairs and an outside loo, which all of the kids would use to save trudging all through the house. Yes, that is something, considering we were brought up in the era that sort of kids would go out to play and not come back until the street lights came on. Having outside toilets was definitely good for that use. Not so much the middle of the night. Need to go. Darcy, she says she doesn't care for front loader machines. She says clothing feels too soggy. She says, and bending down hurts her hips and triggers her sciatica. She says, and it turns, then it makes walking difficult. Which I get. I guess we very much get used to what we get used to. Being able to just sort of drag the washing out of the machine straight into the basket that is on the floor ready to accept said washing is, you know, something that I would potentially miss, having to actually pull everything out. That and being a short person. If anybody's seen the meme that was put up in the Facebook group, it's actually put up in the Facebook group by two different people. That would be me trying to get clothes out of a front loader machine. Sorry, a top loading machine. So as much as I would like to try one, have one, I've heard great things about them. I reckon I would potentially struggle with getting clothes out of said top loader machine and would probably want to go back to a front loader rather promptly. A little short person. Christina, she says, what a cute little rainbow. She says it came out lovely, which it did. Such a sweet one. Another Paint Gem Mini done. I haven't done many of those recently. I go through little phases and I'll do about 5 or 6 in a week and then I won't touch them for a bit, but they are my sort of on the side slower burner. My main painting that I tend to like to focus on is the likes of this one. This is my main diamond painting and the other ones are a bit of variety. Sometimes I just want to change it up a little bit. It's quite nice. I've got the mystery set number 3 on the go at the moment because I can change it up and do a little mystery one when I fancy it. I can also do more muted colours than this one by doing the national parks, or if I end up doing quite a dark section on this, which I've not done yet, but when I do get to the darker sections, I can always change it up by doing a rainbow one and do some bright colours for a little bit. If I've ever got a round painting kitted up, the Paint Gem Minis are nice to switch and do a square for a bit. That's when I find I tend to do even more. I'll do more Paint Gem Minis when I have a round painting as my big painting, because then I do love to change it up and mix it over. Right, I think I've got all the M's. I think I've just got my H's, which I am going to do. It's very similar, it's 552. Aaliyah, she says she couldn't settle this morning, so she started putting bits off her bedside cabinet away, she said, and then she did her desk. She was then able to get most of the uni work she needed to get done. Well, sometimes it is good when you can't settle if you end up being productive and getting some bits done. Definitely gets you that pep in your step. Sometimes it is just straightening up, tidying up can make an absolute world of difference. Even if you just start in one smaller area and just think, I'll just tidy this up. Ah, 2 M's there. Knew it was going to happen. Knew it. I think I've got all the H's, but I'll probably find one of those in a minute too. Okay, where's my letter M's? Let's get those two. This is where, when I've done the painting for a while, especially when I'm not doing a WIP and chat at the same time, because my brain's then not thinking of loads of other things, I will probably figure out a sort of pattern or an order of doing these where I'm likely to miss less. I'm just nowhere near there yet. Okay, 155, more purple. Lady Dax, she says, thank you for cheering me up today, Rebecca. Oh, bless you. It can be hard when you need cheering up. Hopefully, if some people are feeling a bit down, maybe if I've not cheered them up, maybe they just feel like they have somebody listening. Feel free to type in the comments if you want to share. But yeah, just know we all have up days, we all have down days. That is for sure. Sometimes we have both in a day at different times, depending on what is going on. These diamonds are a little bit smaller as well, but not quite as much as the last lot. So I seem to be still okay multi-placing. We'll see how we go. So I don't really want to have a load of diamonds that I have to single place. I am a multi-placer kind of girl now. And I am enjoying getting through some paintings because I have so many that I want to do and I don't particularly want to get rid of any. So being able to get more done by multi-placing, change my tune, haven't I, is a great plus for me, and I don't really want to have a couple of colours that I have to single place because of the gaps. I don't think I could get away with 10 placing. Oh, try and actually get it in shot. I don't think I could get away with like a 10 placer or anything on these, but I think I'm all right with my 4 or 5, depending on how it gets picked up by the putty. Seems to be okay. It's not spacing it out too much, because I don't want to have to go through and nudge them all into the right place either. White Van Lady, she says the house that they live in, she says, is now very old. She said, and we actually own a 2-foot square up the top of their gardens that used to be the outside loo. Yes, many houses in the UK, the older houses in the UK, would have either had an outside loo or potentially space for an outside loo. I'm not exactly sure of the times that they sort of disappeared, but as I say, I do know growing up, my auntie Enid used to have an outside loo. And I know when my dad was younger, and he's nearly 70, they only had an outside loo at first when he was growing up. Yet when I went to my grandma's, they had a loo. Not sure if it was the same house or not. So yeah, it's definitely, within grasp of me knowing about it without having to read up on it. I didn't learn about it in a history lesson. But yeah, still quite a few years ago for those that are younger. Christine, she says, here, Melissa. She says, and thank you, Kim. She says she had quite a chuckle. Okay, I've just done 5, but I think I placed it a little bit too high and it's not liked it. She says, what a lovely touch, she said, those ABs made to the stars on my rainbow. She says she has been really getting into painting Fandango recently, she said, and it's made such a huge difference to her mood. Oh, she says she's been doing things a little bit differently this time. She says maybe a bit of rebel coming out. She says she's been doing the coral of a certain colour, and then all the fin of the turtle, and then the fish in that area, etc. She says it seems to keep the interest going. She says, lastly, she says she feels for you, Lady Dax. She says she's angry for you, she says, because something that is there to make a person's life better and more bearable shouldn't involve such a wait. So that's in relation to Lady Dax had to cancel an appointment, a hearing appointment, and I think it's next year that they're able to book her in for, like a year or just over a year later, which I agree is absolutely ridiculous to have to wait that long. She said she goes to a local hearing aid specialist, she says, and they are one of several in her area. She says, is there nowhere else that you can go? She says, anyway, thank you, Rebecca. She says, and have a great day to you and all the zesties. Yeah, I don't know whether you could potentially get on a cancellation list. I suppose it depends how close you are. For example, Megan currently has eczema. She's had it all her life. She got it from me. I've had it, though milder, all my life. And yeah, she's actually got it worse than mine, and she got referred to dermatology, which can take a while to get through. However, she was able to get added to the cancellation list because it is about 10 minutes down the road, 10 minutes down the road from us. And she drives, so, you know, can get there fairly quickly because she's also working on supply at the moment. There was definitely more of a chance of her being able to make an appointment. So she was put on the cancellation list. So if somebody phones up in the morning, a bit like Lady Dax did with her appointment, had to phone up and cancel shorter notice. They were able to then phone her because she was on the cancellation list, and she was able to get an appointment sooner because otherwise nobody would have been seen. So I'm not sure if that's something you can do if there's not somewhere else that you can be referred to. I know you live in London, so things may or may not be, or may be busier just because of the volume of people in the amount of space. London is only a certain size, even if it is big, compared to, of course, other towns and cities in the UK. Maybe you can get on a cancellation. In relation to how you're doing your diamond painting, Christine, I do love doing that with diamond paintings to vary things up a little bit. It like brings a little bit of excitement or a little bit of a game sometimes to how you're doing a diamond painting, whether you decide to do things in a different order each time you start diamond painting. Sometimes it can be nice, depending on the amount of colours, deciding to do your colours according to the order that you've got them stored. So like I could say, right, okay, I'm going to start in the bottom left hand corner of my storage for my diamond painting colours, and I'm going to work my way through each colour one at a time. Or yeah, just vary it up in different little ways of how you do it. And some days you're not in the mood for that. Some days you're just like, this is my this is my happy place. I'm going to fall back to my basic way of doing it. But then other times you can be like, oh, actually, I like doing it this way for this painting. Or you just like the variety. Can always make it a little bit more fun. Melissa, she says, on the topic of misplaced drills, she says she will pull them off and fix them, she says 90% of the time, to get it how she wants it. She said her current kit is a Turkey for Thanksgiving by Randall Spangler, and she's got bling for the dragons and a single AB colour for some of the food on the table. She says she got carried away and used the bling for the dragon, she says, on the broccoli because she couldn't tell the dragon butt from the broccoli. Love it. She says she laid out 3 different crystals and metallics, she says, before she realised. She seriously considered for a brief moment to leave it alone. In the end, she said she had to sit and pull it all off. She says she's almost done. She says other times if she misplaced, she says she can't tell what she's misplaced. She will leave that until the end. And if she still can't tell on the overall image where the mistake was, then she'll leave it. She said it mustn't have been, you know, that big of a colour for it to make an impact. Which is a good way if you've misplaced something, especially because sometimes it can be really, really hard to tell exactly where you've misplaced, especially if you're talking 2 similar colours and a very confetti painting. Then often taking a step back and see if you can figure it out or not is a very good way to do it. It's very weird how this triangle, it is definitely this one, it's blue on the canvas, but it's purple when you put it down. But I've double checked my symbol and it's definitely right. Double check it on here, 155. Yeah, it's definitely 155, which is a purple. I mean, it works quite well when I'm doing the chart, and it'll make the chart a little bit different to, like, the finished will look a little bit different than what the chart does. So I'm not against it being a slightly different colour. But yeah, it does make me second guess. I'll stop second guessing once I've done a few more sections, because it'll sink in my brain that that's just the way this painting is. As long as it looks good when I'm finished, that's what I'm bothered about. Kim, she says her dad grew up without a bathroom and had to use the outhouse. She says even after he moved out of his grandparents' house and they finally got a full bathroom, he would still use the outhouse. She says yes, they kept it, she says, even though they have no idea why. Well, I can imagine when kids are playing out that it would be handy for them to still use the outhouse. And if I think of a British summer, I am sure that in the summertime, rather than traipsing back in the house, it would be kind of nice to have a loo there and ready outside, ready to go. She said her dad said he would use it once each visit so he could remember to appreciate having an inside toilet in his house. She said she never actually visited the outhouse and it stayed in working order, she said, until a bad storm came through and destroyed it. So it actually bummed out her dad that it was gone. Can you imagine? It's like a childhood memory. I mean, my craft room is what was considered sort of an outhouse. It's what we called the outhouse. Whether it had a loo in it at one point, I don't know. But before we put the conservatory on the back, which allowed us to access it from inside the house, for my craft room, you had to go out of the house and come back in, out of the back door, and come back in to this door to get to it. Many people have knocked it through and made it part of the kitchen, or actually the wall directly opposite me goes into the front room, so some people have connected it in that way. But I love my little craft room. I much prefer having it as a craft room space. Right, I just spotted one I missed. There it is. A triangle, so I'm going to get that. Inga, she says, ooh, she says the outhouse. She says she used that when visiting her grandma too. She says now they have built a bathroom inside. She said, but she still prefers to use the outhouse for number 2. She says for some reason when visiting. She says much more peaceful place. She says despite the smell. She said we had a communal inside toilet in our apartment complex. She says 1 per level. She says, and she definitely didn't feel nostalgic to use that one ever again. I can imagine. There are some things that are nostalgia, primarily things from childhood. Things, yeah, from communal living, especially with people that you don't necessarily know that well and aren't family. I can see why that one is not anywhere near as appealing. Yeah, that would definitely be a little bit different. I do remember my granddad used to work at the paper mill, local, the paper mill where they lived in Ramsbottom. And yeah, whenever we used to visit, we used to go home with big packs of toilet roll, because you could only get toilet roll in like 4s or 12s, I think, in the supermarkets at the time. So yeah, we always used to be able to get these big packs that were like multiple packs of 4 rolls, but in the way that they were delivered to the likes of supermarkets. We always used to pick them up, big tubs of toilet roll and kitchen roll, whenever we went to visit my grandparents. We currently lived down south, so it was a few hours trip, and it was sort of a weekend trip when we went, and I always remember going home with them. My granddad and grandma actually gave me, when I got married to Will, they gave us a gift, but they also gave us a full pack of toilet roll and a full pack of kitchen roll. And back at that time, when it was just me and Will and then Megan, that lasted a long time. Now, no. Farm Foods is where we get ours from, because we can get a big pack, and we can get multiple packs on an offer, and it is really nice quality toilet roll without paying a fortune. We love it. I should prefer it to the likes of Andrex. LM76, so commenting on the last day, just in case that is referenced. She said the huge laundry room conversation. She says, may I jump in? Of course you may jump in. This is why I love other people's opinions. I never even thought of getting clothes out of the top loader until somebody mentioned it. Because people on this channel know I'm short. So I love the conversations that we end up having. She says, maybe someone from Sweden, she says, told where we have our washing machine, she said that she missed. She says, but that would be typical. Typical of her, she said. She says in Sweden, she says the washing machines are placed in like toilet, bathroom if you live in an apartment. She says seldom apartments have a laundry room. She says many apartment complexes will have a laundry room for the renters owners. She says, but when it comes to houses, she says most of the time laundry rooms are very often combined with the scullery or mud room. She says, don't know what you call them. I'm not posh enough to have what would be a mud room. I'm not posh enough to have one, but scullery mud room does make sense. It's just not something my house has. She says, looking at your, she also says, looking at your pen, she says, and she will buy that kind of thinking. Yeah, I mean, I think it's mudrooms / sculleries that are now probably more called utility rooms. They've sort of combined the whole washing in with somewhere to store, you know, your wellies and your coats and all that sort of stuff. Not all places, but quite a few places that do like have a utility room. It might then be connected to the likes of the garage, or at least give you access to outside. So a utility room probably is that sort of a new name, because it is combined with other things. But yeah, we're not posh enough to have one of those. Graylagram, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, speaking of outhouses, she says she's only had to use one once. She says her now ex-boyfriend and herself were staying in a cabin on the north shore of Lake Superior in February. She says the overnight lows were minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the same in Celsius, so minus 40 degrees. That is ridiculous. Why would you even want to? She says she had to follow a path in deep snow in the dark to sit upon the seat. She was scared she would run into a moose. And she wanted to use a milk jug in the cabin. She says, but her then boyfriend wouldn't allow it. She said the snow on the floor of the cabin didn't melt either. They had a wood stove and they made a mistake of putting an egg carton on the floor and they froze too. She says, note to self, she says, never date a guy who won't let you pee in the house. Good note to have. Good note to have. Underline that. If you're doing it on the computer, put it in bold too. But yeah, that sounds absolutely horrific, is what I'd say. That is not my idea of fun at all. Right, this one is done. I obviously tipped too many diamonds in because they're not all fitting in the spout of my tray. Okay. Arrow. Corner. Oh, bright pink, this one. This one's not purple. We're going for a pop of colour. Let's see if my battery's going to die or if I'm going to run out of comments. My legs are tired, but I'm also kind of going for it because I can see I've only got about 3 more colours left. So I'm kind of like, I want to finish this section. Paula says her grandparents had an outhouse and their main bathroom was in their bedroom. She said their parents bought the house off them when they moved. She remembers using the outhouse herself. She remembers using the outhouse herself until they renovated. So there's definitely still some memories of it. That actually reminds me when you said that the bathroom was in your parents' bedroom. When I was younger, we had a house with an inside bathroom. It was actually quite a new build, I think, at the time. It's not anymore. I'm a bit older. But yeah, when I was younger, we had a house that had a bathroom with a bath. It may have had a shower above the bath, or it may have just had, we use one of those good old-fashioned shower attachments that you would stick onto the taps. But my dad is a shower person, well and truly. Like, it is extremely rare that my dad would ever have a bath. Same with Will, actually. Like, he hardly ever has a bath. Very rare occasion. And yeah, they actually got a power shower, which at the time just meant the water pressure was better. Like, it was a good kind of full-on shower to have. They actually got one put in the wardrobe in their bedroom. And yeah, so it was basically my dad's ensuite shower. Us kids, I think, still stuck with baths from what I remember. I probably had a shower in it at some point, but yeah, it was actually behind sliding doors. So they had a wall of the sliding mirror doors. One of them slid apart to have the shower, and the others slid apart and were the wardrobe. So yeah, it just reminded me of that. Thank you for that one. Bringing back some things from the past. Natalia says she is working on a 72-inch by 60-inch, she says, and it's taking her a while. I am not surprised. That sounds like a chunk of a painting. And I think we do often forget that even if you go, oh, it's only a little bit bigger than my last one, it's only 20 centimetres bigger than my last one. On either side, that actually the diamond painting area for that ends up being ginormous. And you always think a section is going to take you a whole lot less than it does. It's like this section. I uncovered this half thinking, I'm probably not going to end up doing all of this. But I've absolutely loved doing all of it. Love chatting through the comments. But also looking at the time and going, where has the day gone? Because I am still in here diamond painting. And I'm going to end up going to edit the video. I'm going to put all the clips together and I'm going to go, that's where my time went. I was diamond painting today, is what I was doing. We'll see whether I end up diamond painting tonight. But yeah, absolutely really enjoying doing this one. Liking the fact that there is sections of multi-placing, sections that aren't. I like the fact that the symbols are slightly different shades to what the actual colours are, which means when I do put the colours in, they stand out and pop just a little bit more. And yeah, I think this one's going to come together fairly quickly. If I can do 3 sections in a WIP and Waffle anyway. All depends on if I get time to diamond paint at night. Doro Bipong, she says, thank you for the waffle, Rebecca. She says she's very happy, she says, for the lovely community. She says that you've built and you're amazing products. Oh, bless you. She says she's very much looking forward to the Advent goodies, which is good. I always hope they are received as well and as excited as we actually get doing them. She says regarding the discussion, she says about knowingly missed stones, she says sometimes she is too lazy to print out the same colour repeatedly. She says then she uses a similar colour as it won't stand out, she says, in the overall picture. She says especially with her current project, which is 280 colours. which I can get. It probably, put in the wrong colour, would have been less likely to have been seen for walking in the rain than the other one. But I don't think I've knowingly done it on walking in the rain. In fact, I'm pretty sure I haven't knowingly done it, because there are so many times that I have gone back to open up a pot that I'd already gone past and was working on another colour to fill in one that I missed. I've done it so many times on that painting. It was getting kind of annoying. But it's done now. It's done now. It's looking absolutely stunning. And I've just got a very big D-kit ahead of me for that one. That's for sure. Oh, I thought I was done with multiplacing then. I've just spotted some more. A few more I can multiplace before I can go in with singles, if I don't throw all my diamonds all over the place. Okay, let's go in with singles. Deirdre, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, this last week has been an absolute bombshell. She had important things to do all week. Long thank the day, she says, this was posted. She went to her chirotherapy and massage place to ease the pain in her everywhere. It's definitely been a hard week if you're in pain everywhere. She says, sadly, it didn't really do enough to reach the spot that was killing her the most. She says, thankfully, she says her dad cracked it and immediately her pain was gone. Fantastic. She says she can't wait to see the next diamond painting. Well, I'm so happy that your week ended on a high. If you are in, aches and pains and all the rest of it, if it is something that can potentially be fixed by the likes of cracking your back, it's just such relief. Not all pain can be dealt with that way, but if something can, I can imagine the relief that just washed over you was absolutely amazing. But yeah, doesn't sound like a fun week at all. Kathinka, she says, wonderful video. She says, very nice picture. She says, where do you recommend, she says, buying special drills, such as ABs, etc.? There are a couple of places. If you're after the likes of diamond dust drills, which are more subtle than ABs, it's like a very, very fine glitter over them, then that would be my shop, addmorezest.com. We have all the diamond dust drills over there, and I'm hoping to be accenting some paint gem minis with those next in the future. If you want AB drills, then I'd recommend Diamond Art Studio UK. They're the two sort of UK places that I go, that I've got AB. I've got my AB diamonds are from them primarily, if they're not left over from kits, and my diamond dust drills are from our shop. So they're the two that I know of. I don't add enhancement drills anywhere near as much as some people, so do feel free to comment as to what country you're in. If you're not in the UK, then it may be that people can recommend somewhere outside of the UK or whatever country you're in, for you to be able to get some from, or the best place for you to get them from. Rachel, she says she has a spin drum, she said, and she stands on her tiptoes, she says, to reach things at the back side of the top loader washer. She says, but that is what they've always had. She said, at least the new machine, she says, doesn't have the agitator to get caught on. She says if she'd ordered a fancy pedestal to put it on, she said she'd either need a step stool or hubby would have to switch the laundry from the washer to the dryer. She says she's never actually been to IKEA, so she doesn't miss it. She says in Nebraska, the closest one, she says, was probably 3 to 4 hours away. In the greater Kansas City metro area, she says, and she thinks that one was fairly new. See, I get the whole, if you've never had it, you're not going to miss it. But yeah, I wouldn't want to live somewhere where I don't have it now, considering I've had it in the past. Because I would end up missing it. Because I've had it. Love my IKEA. Oh, we're up to the last comment. So this is probably going to time rather well with finishing up a mighty big section. And then I'm going to go and collapse on the couch for a bit. Oh, let me just take my cardi off. It's got far too warm in here. Denise, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, when talking about IKEA, she says she recently visited family who live 30 minutes from Brisbane, and she told her family that she needs, I like this, needs to go to IKEA. She says, wow, she says, what a place. It definitely is. She says she thought she might feel a bit overwhelmed. She says, but she loved the way the shop was set out. She says they had a pathway, she says, with arrows to guide customers around the store, she said, which was very easy to navigate. She says, are all the stores set out like that? Yes, they are. So pretty much I think every IKEA will have a pathway to follow. You do sort of loop back on yourself often as well, even though you don't realise it because you're seeing different things. But yeah, they all have a pathway with the arrows. There are also shortcuts that aren't always noted down. Sometimes they do seem to do quite well now at sort of, if you do go look at the map, they will tell you some of the shortcuts. Because if you think city streets, if you go like this, then actually you can sort of go like this and get to some places quicker. But yeah, they're all set out like that. I just happen to know the shortcuts in my IKEA. I know exactly where they are and exactly where they'll lead me to. So I can get in and out of IKEA quite quick now if I need to. She says she likes how they had different room scenarios set up. She said so she could wander off the pathway and have a closer look and then get back on the pathway. She says she was very impressed. They do have a very, very good setup, I will say. She said the only thing she bought, she says, was a small magnetic pot mat. She says, but she could see the allure. She says of IKEA as a place to get ideas from, especially if one was setting up a home. Yes, definitely. If you were trying to kit up a home, set up a home, you know, even some of their nice stuff, or what we like as well, like I say, I can get in and out of IKEA really, really quickly if I know exactly what it is that I need. However, if I know that I need some sort of storage for somewhere, like when we were kitting out the shop and we knew we needed something and we sort of knew what measurements we had, but we wanted to have a look, then there was a couple of times I needed 2 more minutes out of my battery. Sorry, yeah, that's my rant for today. Yeah, there were a few times that me and Megan did the whole sort of walk through, or at least the walk through the sections that we needed. And we love doing that occasionally just for ideas and things. But yeah, it's a fantastic place. And I can pretty much always, not always, but a lot of the time I can find something in there that will suit. Even, you know, I like the fact that they do the likes of the basics, but then they also do like different levels of, say, quality as well. And sometimes, you know, the cheaper option is what fits your space and works really well. And other times, you know, it might be that, well, I'd rather spend a bit more money because this sort of fits in better. I like the fact that they have both options, because sometimes other places you can just never know the quality that you're getting. And as much as some people, you know, don't like IKEA and the fact that it's not solid wood and all that sort of stuff, you're not paying the price of solid wood. And quite often you'll pay more, not huge amounts more that you'd pay for solid wood, but you can pay more at other places and still have the same sort of quality or lower quality that you get from IKEA, just costing you more. Plus it's really handy because it's literally just around the corner for it. Right, I have finished the first section of my kookaburra. There are some gaps on some diamonds in places, but not too many, to be honest. There are some that are popping out. Because I've been multi-placing, I do find I have to run my finger over, because sometimes some of them are not as flat down as they could be. But that was fun. Seems like I've actually started on quite an exciting part of the picture. But anyway, we'll see if I get any done over the next week. If not, we'll move on to this section. But I am officially caught up with comments. Yay me. Go me. All I have now are the walking in the rain comments that I didn't get to. But I'll get to those next time. A week on Thursday when I de-kit my walking in the rain. Anyway, I need to stop messing with diamonds. I always do that when I've just finished. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.